love Star Wars, but I actually never watched everything, especially not in English, so here we are. Some general info about this video series beforehand. It is gonna come out sporadically after I release the third Clone Wars video on Friday. I also didn't rewatch the first 6 movies for at least 10 years, or at least I didn't watch it in full. I saw some memes, some clips here and there, but never fully. I, especially not in English, I didn't watch any of the animated stuff. I haven't read any of the books or comics, and I never actually saw Solo and Rogue One, as well as I haven't really played any of the canon games. So, in this video series, I'm going through chronologically through Star Wars. Why chronologically and not in release order? Simple. I think, in my opinion, if you know the big twist that Darth Vader is Luke's father, it doesn't make sense to start with episode 4. I think you really profit from starting with something that is more up to date than episode 4. Now, I haven't watched episode 4 in a long time, and we'll get to it when we get to it, but from the few clips I've seen in recent time, it really doesn't look that great anymore. So, episode 1, it is. Now, what do I mean by chronological? I mean, I'm starting with episode 1 with Phantom Menace, then going to episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and then we're gonna watch the Clone Wars. Then we're going to watch Bad Batch, I think. In between, I have started reading some Star Wars books. I'm gonna throw them in there when it makes sense. You know, just like that. Now, some info about me and my Star Wars history. I'm actually a prequels kid. You know, I was born in 2000, so the prequels were probably the first Star Wars stuff I saw. I think, anyway, it's actually really long ago. But what I still know is that I loved the design of Darth Maul as a kid. I saw the action figures of him in the mall, and I thought, "Whoa, he's so cool." And I thought the same thing about Grievous. And to be honest, I still think they're fucking awesome. Design-wise, anyway. What about their characters? We're gonna see. Now, today I want to talk about episode 1 and 2. Wouldn't make sense to talk about episode 3 without Clone Wars if I'm gonna stay chronological. So, let's get started with episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now, some backgrounds look very CGI and not really that great anymore. But that's okay. I mean, it's a 20-year-old movie. Lord of the Rings looks better, but episode 1 has a better story and cooler characters. So, it's okay. The CGI otherwise is quite good. I mean, yeah, it looks really out of place, some characters, because this movie was really the first big CGI movie. So they had to figure out some kinks here and there. It's depth. There's missing depth and grittiness and shadowing on these characters. Doesn't look that good, but that's okay because it's 20 what? 3-year-old movie now. Now the first 30 to 40 minutes kinda drag and really could have been sped up. And another thing that really bugged me actually was, why do people get deceived by the Natalie Portman Keira Knightley switch? I mean, not even with the makeup on, they don't really look anything alike, actually. So weird, I guess. Now, Ewan McGregor, on the other hand, looks also really weird without a beard. I hope we never see him without a beard in anything Star Wars ever. So please keep your beard, Ewan. It's great. You have a great beard. Please keep it. Now, to get to Darth Maul, he is still a badass, and I really loved him, and I'm really glad that he is not dead. Yes, nice. So, I'm actually in real time, I think, on the cusp of actually re-meeting him in the Clone Wars, and I'm really fucking excited about it. But let's stay on the topic. Something other that I really didn't like was actually Jar Jar. I had him in my memory. He was way funnier, and in my memory, I actually understood what he said because I barely could understand or comprehend anything he said, even with subtitles on. No. On the other hand, the best part, other than Duel of Fates, obviously, was the pod race. The pod race was still awesome. It looked really, really good still. It's maybe a little bit too long in the middle, but what a, you know, it's fine. It's a little long, but I enjoy it. It's awesome. To come to a conclusion to this movie, the movie was fine. It had some unnecessary length, but otherwise it's fine. And by the way, in my original John version of the video, I gave rating, but I actually don't want to trap myself in some kind of weird things down the line. So, no ratings, just my opinion. But let's go to episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Now, this movie, I actually was positively surprised. Mostly because of all the memes we know with Padme and Anakin rolling in the grass, and you know, this movie had so many memes, and everyone talked about how bad it is, so I was actually positively surprised. And it's actually probably the Star Wars movie that I couldn't remember most of the scenes. So, yeah, we're gonna see if that's gonna change in the future, but at least from what I remember about all the other films, I feel like I know I could outline the movies pretty accurately. In this, I couldn't. Now, to get back to the memes, basically, the Anakin and Padme scenes in the middle were really weird. They were weird, but actually, the other scenes weren't that bad. I actually like the relationship between Anakin and Padme, but I'm not a fan of their romantic relationship. Every time we're getting into some romantic stuff with Anakin and Padme, suddenly the writing gets really weird. I think the normal relationship they have is okay, and I actually like it, but the romantic stuff is kind of weird. And I'm really glad that, for example, Mike Chen, the author of the book Brotherhood that I'm reading at the moment, does a way better job at depicting it. But based on this movie, I really don't like the romantic relationship they have. Now, other than the first movie, this one had a little bit of CGI overkill. For example, in the middle on Naboo between Anakin and Padme, they are eating pears. I guess that was some weird alien space pear. And why did they animate that? And so it looks so bad. You could have just made a practical effect and it would have looked so much better. Especially the impact when the pier goes on the fork. That was weird as fuck. But to get some positive aspect, the Yoda versus Dooku fight was great. Great performance, and this fight really profited from changing to a CGI model of Yoda. Is the CGI model perfect or better than the puppet? I don't know. Maybe, probably not. I'm gonna see if when I'm rewatching the original trilogy and how the puppet looked, but it's still a great fight. Now, this movie actually has really barely any length, if any at all, which was actually quite surprising. Um, this movie has incredible sound design, but that's basically Star Wars. Star Wars is the epitome of amazing sound design. Just one example from this, two examples actually, two different examples. One was the seismic bomb that Django threw. That was boo. This boo was awesome. And another thing that's kind of different is in the background of the Anakin Padme conversation. I'm sorry. After Anakin killed the Tusken Raiders, and evil woman has children too. Throughout that scene, when he's basically telling Padme everything and comes clear, in the background, you have to listen to the background. There's a small nudge of a Vader theme that starts playing, and at the end, after he tells her everything, there's a small moment where nobody says anything, and you hear, I don't know how many, but like 3 notes, and you immediately think, oh, that was the sound you heard in the background. Amazing. Now, this movie, to sum it up, was really solid. It's a good movie. Is it perfect? No. Is it great? No. It's good. It's good. They really improved upon their quote unquote mistakes they did in episode 1 and really did a solid movie. So also here, no rating because it's gonna be a trap in the future. Now, I hope you like this video. If you do, leave a like and subscribe to the channel to don't miss any uploads, especially since soon I will upload the first part of my Clone Wars review. That's gonna be split in, I think, 7 parts because there's way too much to talk about in 7 seasons, so I'm gonna split it up in that, but more of that in the other video. Now, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.